What's going on, guys? This week I've been driving the 2021 Infiniti Q60, beautiful sports coupe, and this thing is meant to be driven. So unlike most of our reviews, we're going to start off by driving this thing. So jump in, let's get to it. So let's get some of the more boring stuff out of the way first. This isn't an economical vehicle. It's not a green vehicle or whatever. It is a sports GT vehicle. Fuel economy wise, we are averaging 17.4 miles to the gallon. And I think that's decent for the amount of power that we have and as much fun as we've had during this week. You also get nice safety features in this vehicle. You get a 360 camera, backup camera. You get radars that will initiate the camera as you get close to something. It'll also beep and let you know that you're backing up or coming close to something. You have your full lane keeping assist, blind spot monitoring, radar guided cruise control. The seating position is comfortable. I can get low enough, good enough position for my hands on the steering wheel. Everything is very comfortable, easy to sit in here and maneuver. The bolstering on the seats aren't too tight, especially for me, but they do hold you in high G cornering, so that's always good. I do have some gripes about the interior here, but we'll get to that when we get to the interior section of this, which will come pretty soon. And we'll just take a look around the interior really quick. But right now we're just out having a bit of fun. And of course, the best way to have fun in this is to start messing with the drive modes down here. So you do have quite a few different modes. We have an eco mode, a snow mode, because this is all-wheel drive. We have a standard mode, which basically is what I've been driving it most of the week. Then you have a sport mode that wakens it up a little bit more, and a sport plus mode that gives it even more. Then you have a personal mode where you can personally set some things, but let's put it into sport plus and see what we think. So we're in Sport Plus. We got it on a back country road, not the best surfacing, and it's still pretty smooth. You can definitely feel the suspension a little bit tighter back here. Of course, it's Texas. We don't have a bunch of curvy roads. We've just got some long, straight back country roads. And it does pretty well back here. It does have a nice, decent exhaust drone, especially when you really get on it. It's no V8 sound, but it sounds pretty good. I mean, when you put that gas down, this thing starts to go. You gotta just hold on. We got a little bit of twisties up here, so let's see how it handles there. Steering feel is really good. It kind of just goes where you point it. It's not really tight like you would think some sports cars are, but it's still very responsive. And like I said, these seats hold you really well through those corners. Nice rev matching there. Around this corner. Just grips and goes and sounds great doing it. Braking's definitely good. Nice and solid. Turn-in's good. Even rough surface. Pushing out of those turns. Really nice. Get another just sweeping turn. This thing just goes where you point it. Hardly any effort at all. just feels like such a solid platform. Another sharp one on the brakes. Push through. Again on the brakes. Turn. Push through. Yeah, it's definitely a fun car. All right, and let's see how that straight line acceleration is getting onto the highway. We're to be at a complete stop. Make sure nobody's coming. And let's go. That's 60. Yeah, sounds good. Goes like mad. Kind of everything you want in your sports coupe. Obviously, there's other options. But something that looks like this, sounds like this, goes like this, priced at this price point. And speaking of those looks, this is definitely a good looking vehicle from the outside. Infiniti's done amazing work with their design and design language. I've always been a fan from the G35 to the G37, and now these Q60s, the Q50s. Great looking vehicles. And this one, being an all white, kind of pulls at my heartstrings too. Love all white cars with nice lines like this one has. Infiniti keeps refining the exterior, the headlights, the taillights, and this thing just hits the mark for me. But again, we do have some gripes, so let's find a place to pull over. We'll take a look at the interior in here. We'll talk a bit about what's in here and what I don't like and what I do like. Then we'll try to wrap it up with some pricing competition talk, and that'll be the review. All right, so let's take a second to look around the interior here and see what we're working with. First off, we do have these nice leather bucket seats. I've already been talking about them. They are perforated. They got the red stitching on them. They look really nice. They feel very comfortable. They are heated seats, just heated seats, not cooled seats, but the heating function does work well. Moving along to the door again, black with red stitching, and we get some carbon fiber accents here, along with the sort of matte chrome strip. Same up on the dash here. And again, you get that carbon fiber trimming here in the center, all the way down through the console area. Steering wheel's also leather trimmed with that red stitching. Nice, comfortable in the hands, good positioning of all the buttons. You got your paddle shifters back here, so if you're really trying to push it, you got those paddle shifters to shift gears. Let's go ahead and kick it on, check out the driver information display as well as the two screens here. It is a push button start, obviously. And you get a nice driver information display that toggles through a lot of different screens, from your range to your fuel economy, to your driving aids, tire pressure, oil, different service messages, warnings, and then back to our range here. So on to the dual screen display. Top, we have an 8-inch screen. Bottom, we have a 7-inch screen. You get a lot of your settings functions, climate functions, and audio functions down here. The top one is your navigation. If you have your phone plugged in, your Apple CarPlay or Android Auto will be up here. You have redundant buttons on either side of the screen here for your AC controls, even though you can go in here and get most of those. One of the things you can't get from out here is setting your dual climates, which is a little bit frustrating because that's something that I end up hitting a lot because the kids change theirs on that side, and I just want them to be the same if I'm the only one driving here. Further down is more of your redundant audio controls. Then we have our heated seat button. Next is the traditional gear shifter. No electronic rotary knob or anything like that, just a nice traditional gear shifter, leather boots, red stitching. This dial here is for your top screen, so you can adjust the navigation settings and everything through here, or activate the camera with a touch of a button here. Further back, you have your cup holders and your drive mode select. And this is just a back and forth toggle. And you saw what we can do there. We've got our different modes like snow, eco, standard, sport, sport plus, and personal. Lastly, here we do have our center console where you can plug in either a USB Type-C or USB Type-A charging port. And this will interface with the infotainment system as well. Back seats, there's not much to say back there. It does have decent room if you need to put people behind you, especially kids on the other side of the passenger seat. So this can be a 2+2 if you need it to be. All right, and I've probably been teasing it long enough. Let's talk about my issues with this car, with the interior here. And they mainly have to do with these split screen displays. I mention this in every Infiniti vehicle that I drive. I don't know exactly what it is about these screens that I just don't like. It definitely doesn't do it for me. Some of the controls that are redundant and then ones that aren't are a little frustrating. The setup of having certain things at the bottom and certain things at the top. The top screen is super bright at night. Even if you dim it all the way down, it's still bright. Even if you turn the screens off, it's got a backlight in it that's even bright. And just some of the tech there is a little bit outdated. It doesn't look like it's updated in years. And maybe that's just something that I get as an automotive reviewer, driving different years every year of the vehicle and never seeing the tech in it update. It feels like this is one of the flagship cars of Infiniti and that they would put a little bit more effort into keeping it modern, keeping it updated. Even some of the safety tech in here isn't as modern as you would get in new Nissans. Other than that, I think the interior is fantastic. I think the materials used in here are great. I think the driving position is solid. And once you get familiar with the infotainment and all the buttons and stuff like that, and you get your setup going, it's not terrible, but it also sounds great coming out of the Bose Performance Series sound system, and that's always a win. All right, well, let's jump back out of the car. Let's talk a little bit about price and competition and some of my final thoughts here, and we'll wrap this video up. All right, guys, so the base model of the Q60 has a base price of $41,750. Then you have the pure all-wheel drive. Then you have the Lux and Lux all-wheel drive, which start at $50,000. And then you have the Red Sport 400, which also comes in rear wheel or all-wheel drive. We have the all-wheel drive version, and this one bases at $60,000. So what do we think about that? I think it's a really good price for the amount of power that you get out of this and the level of luxury that's in it. The one thing that it lacks, which I already told you, was a little bit of the tech seems outdated, but the looks, the power, the driving ability of this thing is definitely worth 60 grand. If you want to pit it up against something like the BMW 2 Series. Obviously, you could pit it against the Mustang or Camaro if you wanted to, but those are definitely muscle cars versus this as being a more luxury sports car. But my final thoughts, even despite the tech weirdness, if I was shopping for a sports coupe, this would definitely be high on my list. Love the looks again. Love the power, love the drive. Looking forward to Infiniti doing a good update on this thing. Hopefully that's coming soon. But with that, guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. Leave me a comment down below. Let me know what you think about the Q60. Be sure to subscribe to the channel if you're into car reviews. Also, go check out TXGARAGE.com for more written reviews as well as news and event coverage. And as always, guys, thanks for watching.